Pokemon has 2 new games coming out in the next few months, and they have drawn a wide variety of opinions among the fanbase. I, for one, am very excited for the upcoming Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, as well as Pokemon Legends Arceus. In today's video, I'm going to break down my thoughts as to why I am hyped for these upcoming games, and hopefully I can get some of you on board who either are unsure how you feel, or maybe even those of you who may not have been before. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button with the notification bell on and subscribe for more content like this. Let's see if we can aim for 2,000 likes on today's video. With that said, let's get into why I'm very excited for the upcoming new Pokemon releases. Let's start off with why I am looking forward to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I want to address the biggest complaint most people have, which is the chibi art style. I feel like this turned a lot of people off at first, and honestly, I can safely say I was one of those people. However, after seeing the recent trailer, I actually think it's grown on me a bit. It feels like it keeps in line with the original games, and it's become a lot more polished between the last time we saw footage and now. Speaking of things that keep in line with the original games, we have the return of some of Sinnoh's amazing features, such as contests and ball capsules making a return. I am really looking forward to playing in the contests, as they actually look like they've received a nice improvement from the base games. Ball capsules I also felt were a fairly underrated feature of the original Sinnoh games. These were a strong way to give your Pokemon unique personality by designing them a cool little animation to spring out as they were sent into battle. It was a fun way to show some customization, which was pretty scarce in the early games. I honestly couldn't tell you why they took this feature out. It feels like it was pretty pointless to do so in my opinion. Speaking in line with contests, we actually saw the return of certain cut moves, such as Return showcased in the recent trailer. This is huge news for competitive Pokemon, seeing as we'll finally have these moves added back to Pokemon such as Snorlax and Kangaskhan, who appreciate these moves very much. This could also potentially mean the return of other moves that were lost, such as Tail Glow, Pursuit, and many others that could buff several Pokemon from these games. On the other end of the spectrum, we also have the potential to maybe even trade these Pokemon to the Sword and Shield games. We've gotten confirmation we won't have any sort of ranked battle format in either game, as well as confirmation that all of the new games will have compatibility with Pokemon Home. I feel like this could potentially mean we'll be able to trade these Pokemon the Sword and Shield, as Pokemon would likely do this to potentially prevent VGC from becoming stale after another year on Sword and Shield. This means we can potentially utilize some of the new tutor moves that came out from the Isle of Armor on some of our currently unobtainable Pokemon, such as Torterra, Gliscor, and many others. Overall, these games have a ton of potential through movesets alone to wildly change competitive Pokemon, and I'm here for it. Speaking of other competitive additions, we've also gotten confirmation that more Pokemon will be available this time. This will most likely be due to the Underground, which I honestly could not be more hyped about. There will be ways to obtain a variety of Pokemon otherwise hard to access based on your secret base, which means we will finally have more than 5 fire types in these games. In all seriousness though, this is huge for everyone, whether you're a competitive fan, a Nuzlocke, or just a casual fan. Having more Pokemon means more potential combinations of teams. While we're on returning Pokemon, how about adding Megas back to these games, Game Freak? I know it's unlikely, but I would be so excited if I could see a Mega Infernape or a Mega Arceus in these games. Finally, I'm honestly just looking forward to the general nostalgia Sinnoh will provide. We have the return of a generation I love, as well as starters that I am very excited to reunite with. And yes, that does include Torterra. We'll even get to let our Pokemon follow us this time, which I am very happy to see making a return in these games through more than a select amount of areas, such as in Sword and Shield. I'm not exactly sure how we'll do it, as we've seen countless gameplay footage with and without wild Pokemon walking around, whether it was through a route or a town. Hopefully it will be something I can do outside of just a select portion of the game, but I'll take what I can get at this point. Now we get into the non-remakes, being our new game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus actually, despite featuring a Sinnoh legendary, does not even take place in Sinnoh. I love the approach of these new games, having us travel through Sinnoh before it was even Sinnoh. Instead, we'll be traveling through the Hisui region, which is so far back in time, we don't even have just a Sinnoh dex here. For starters, let's look at our starter Pokemon, Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. I think these are the first main series games ever to just throw a random combination of starters at a wall from past games and make those starters our choices. I like the approach of a more meshed together region, which we can also see from the wild Pokemon choices, whether it's Pokemon such as Ursaring, Luxray, or even our new regional variant of Braviary. I'm here for the general feeling of a region with such a wide variety of Pokemon. Speaking of our regional Braviary, we have confirmation of not only Hisuian forms, but also new evolutions of some Pokemon, such as Stantler into Wurdeer and Basculin into Basco Legion. I'm so glad that we'll get some new Pokemon in these games, seeing as we definitely weren't going to in the Sinnoh remakes. I love the designs of these Pokemon, and I hope we can see more regional variants of other Pokemon. Maybe we'll get a regional Garchomp that was an actual shark, or maybe just a new Primal Arceus. We haven't actually seen Arceus in these trailers yet, so maybe they're hiding the new form to tease fans until release. With Arceus in mind, maybe we'll finally get an Azure Flute event this time around. Azure Flute is one of the only event items to outright never be released to the world, alongside a capsule in Generation 5 that gave you the TM for Snarl of all things. Game Freak hopefully realizes their missed opportunity, and will instead give us an Azure Flute event maybe the time with the Legends Arceus release so we can catch our own Arceus in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. If nothing else though, I appreciate the fact Arceus will be around for some sort of actual possible story in these games, even if that means we don't get one in our remakes. While we're talking about catching Pokemon, I actually really like the new catching mechanics this time around. Having to craft Pokeballs this time around fits really well with the general idea of the story, since you're meant to be an actual researcher this time. Having this story focused more on the adventure rather than battling, I think will be a fun change of pace for Pokemon fans. And the new battle styles are very intriguing as well. I'm not sure how I feel about them yet, but if nothing else, they're at least an interesting idea to try, and I'm here for it. Having these games be open world really helps these new features shine in my opinion. And I think the Switch was a great console to finally create the open world Pokemon game I've been dreaming about ever since I was a kid. I have really high hopes that this will not only enhance Legends Arceus, but also pave the way for more open world Pokemon games in the future. I want to touch on one more point, being how the story for these games actually seems intriguing. Seeing as this is meant to be a predecessor to the Generation 4 games, I'm curious as to how the organization we work for will function. While I don't think it's exactly Team Galactic, the fact the chief of Team Galaxy looks like an ancestor to Cyrus is very interesting to me for the direction this story could go. Maybe Pokemon will give a bit of backstory as to where Cyrus got his ambition from, or whether Captain Cyllene actually intended to utilize the legendary Pokemon for evil in the first place. Regardless of if Cyllene's ambitions are good or evil, I do think there's a lot of intrigue that's being built up here. And Game Freak knew what they were doing when designing a key character to look like a major antagonist in the games that take place in the same area of the Pokemon world. The final thing I want to go a bit more in depth on is crafting. I mentioned it briefly with the Pokeballs, but we actually have the ability to create our own items this time around. We've seen a few screenshots of things such as Pokeballs, revives, and even a new item, which is a Heavy Ball, which basically just seems to be a better Pokeball. I wonder what else we'll be able to craft in these games. Maybe we'll need to craft items to ride certain Pokemon, or maybe even use crafting to create food to survive. At the very least though, I'm glad that canonically, the Master Ball would not have existed at this time in the story. Since if we were able to craft one of those through this feature, I think that'd actually be pretty detrimental to the experience of the story, unless they put a limit on the amount of times you could create one. I think this will allow crafting to be a really strong feature, and maybe it'll even make trying to catch the legendary a challenge this time around. Overall, I think that whether it's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl or Legends Arceus, that the Pokemon Company has really outdone themselves this time around. I get these might not be everyone's favorite games, but in my opinion, the fact they have two major releases coming out so close to each other that both look honestly pretty hype is a pretty big thing for all fans of the franchise. I feel like this should hopefully make sure everyone has something to hold them over for a bit with, while potentially even giving a bit more life to Sword and Shield while we wait for our next set of games with a competitive ladder to utilize in game. Hopefully these end up being as positive of an influence to the franchise as I think they'll be, because I think this could honestly pave the way for the future of the franchise as we know it, whether for better or worse. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun talking about my thoughts on these new games. And if you also enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and comment below your thoughts on these upcoming games. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this, and make sure to ring the notification bell for updates when I upload all kinds of Pokemon videos. Let's try to hit our like goal of 2,000 likes. And with that said, I'll see you guys in my next upload. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for MysticSage, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also, over on MysticSage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball, so come and check it out. And also check out MysticSage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm MysticSage, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.